Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's Indie Artist Music Hustle with Blonde Intelligence. I always seek to give you exquisite cranial repertoire, and that means that I want you to think about what I talk about. Um, I was watching again YouTube, and I came across, and I'm so horrible with names, so I always call everybody sugar and honey and cupcake and all that kind of stuff. So I never really learned names, but anyway. Came across a blogger, a dude, and he was talking about how he felt that the quality of rap concerts bring the value of the artist down, meaning that you can't book those big places or sell out arenas and everything because of the quality of the actual overall performance is turning people off. And I thought about that and I was like, you're kind of right about that because when they have performers, a lot of times the performers, just have like 1,000 people on stage. And I mean, unless you got like exceptional talent where you don't have to do anything, especially on, I would say, he was talking about the bigger level, but even being an independent artist, you have to bring something to it. And one of the things he said, not the female hip hop artist, I'm talking about the male artist. And I started laughing because I thought about one of the songs by one of my favorite artists. One of my favorite artists is Zero. And he got a song called If You Want to Dance to This, if that's how you feel. He said, but my body don't move like that, so I'ma chill. And I think that a lot of rappers kind of feel like that they don't actually have to put on a show. And I thought about when T.I. I think it was T.I. and the Family Hustle, and it was one of his sons wanted to decide that he wanted to be a rapper. And he was like, you got to move some. You just can't stand right here. You got to walk over here and raise your hand, do a little bit of this and this. It needs to be more than that. So I was thinking about when he said that the women in hip hop bring it. They bring it in the videos, they bring it in the live performances. And I was reading some of the comments because I don't want to think that, I would be a negative Nancy and that I try to tell people the truth. So I'm going to read a little bit of some comments. And forgive me, I'm like Patty. No, I didn't have my glasses. Okay. I like listening to rap music and think that the musicians and producers are both very talented. However, rap concerts are just terrible overall. The music sounds much worse, and the artist just stands on stage jumping up and down the whole time. There's also not much stage diving at rap concerts due to safety, which is understood, but it just makes them seem so much more lame than rock concerts. Also, the 90% of the crowd have their phones out recording the show pretty much the entire time. These are the same people who say that the show went so hard while also getting butt hurt about being shoved a little bit. At the rock concerts I've been to, if somebody falls down, everybody in the area stops what they're doing and picks them up. Meanwhile, as evident from many concerts, if you fall down at a rap show, you're very likely to get trampled. This isn't to say that all rap fans behave like this because they don't. This is just has been my experience going to many rap concerts. So one of the things that the the blogger that I was watching was saying was some of these artists charge $200 for tickets, and they're not even the best tickets. And then all they're doing is just standing there. And that's why a lot of shows are being canceled. That's not what I'm saying. That's what he said. That's the reason why a lot of shows are being canceled because these famous artists, some of them are not even able to sell out those types of arenas. So I'm going to read another comment. Hey guys, I've been on a couple of live shows this year. I'm not going to name who he said because I'm going to leave that out. And I was quite surprised by how much the quality of the live shows dropped in the last couple of years. I know that the energy is most important of a live show, but it seems that new generation of rappers does not give a damn about the quality of their live performances. I even had a thought that maybe some artists coming to my country give less about the live shows here compared to the US. But then I launched Little Uzi Vert's performance at Rolling Loud this year, and the guy was basically running around the stage in a silly way and doing ad libs to his tracks playing in the background most of the time. Is this even a concert or a listening party at this moment? I've even seen some concerts on YouTube saying it was his best performance. Laughing. I'm sorry. I don't even know who that is. So if I say something to offend somebody, please forgive me because I don't know. And did the expectation of the listeners drop so low? I find it quite a bit disrespectful, and I'm quite a bit disappointed by the fact that shows are turned into listening parties. I've been attending concerts. Ugh. I've been attending rap concerts for about 20 years, and the is happening in the last years would be so quickly. What is your be booed so quickly? What is your option? Now I talked about that last week when I was talking about the early showtime at the Apollo, where if people didn't like you, they would boo you and throw things at you on the stage and everything. And what he's saying is, what's the difference? Because you should be booed. The quality is not versus. I mean, because this is the thing. Because I kind of understand where you're coming from. You can go stream some music or watch a person on TV, and hey, you done heard the song. But when you go to a live show, you're expecting to see something more than what you would see on TV. You want to be wowed by something. And he's saying that he just feel like that the consumer of buying the tickets to your shows is disappointed and being disrespected and disrespecting their money. Another comment. Last show I went to, doors opened at 7, so I get there at 8. The main act who I paid to come see came out around 1:45 a.m. I remember because it was just as the last call at the bar was happening. He said that is whack to me. I want to catch a show and still be hyped and go out after, not be ready for bed halfway through the main act. That was another complaint that the guy in the blogger talked about. He was like, punctuality is just not happening. If we can understand being fashionably late, but it has gotten to the point where I think that was the issue with Babyface and Anita Baker, where it was her tour and her show, and she wanted to come on time to perform her whole set. So she cut acts in front of her. And I know that the main act shouldn't be like that, but I mean, just from a business standpoint and thinking about it, hey, if y'all can't get started on time and y'all can't do this, and hey, you're gonna perform one song, you're gonna perform two songs, and you're gonna move out because I go on stage at this time. I worked as a show manager. I mentioned this before too. Worked as a show manager before, and I had to slot people for the time slots and see how many minutes they got to let them know how many songs they could perform and all that kind of stuff, and in the order of which they came on stage. And with hip hop, I would have independent artists that I never heard of would tell me that, hey, I need to let such and such go on. I need to go smoke me a blunt. That right there is let me know right there you have no business sense at all. And I sat in a clubhouse room one time, and the guy, and I mentioned this before, and the guy was like, "Well, I don't want to sign to a major record label, and this right here happened, and this happened." Okay, well, what do you have to bring to the table? What have you been doing on your own as an independent artist? So they were trying to explain to him in the room that it's a 50-50. You got to be able to give something for labels to get their money. They just not sign anybody. And he did not understand. He thought that he was the best thing since sliced bread, and he did not get that he couldn't even name what he had to bring to the table. Hey, and if his live performance was good, he should have said that. Next one. Always be wary of rap shows at bars and clubs, especially if it's a venue that's primarily a dance club rather than a performance venue. I agree with it already. They will delay the show as long as possible in order to maximize drink sales. I've learned that lesson the hard way, standing through countless local openers who probably paid to play, DJs who played for a hour or two while insisting every song that main act is about to come out. By insisting that every song, they wrote this wrong. While this is what it should say, while insisting after every song that the main act is about to come out, and headliners that don't come out until right before last call. That is the second time that we've, out of these four comments, the second time. So I'm not going to stay with you long. And the only thing that I'm going to say is, because like I said, I always work with independent artists. If you are going to be an independent artist, you are still to be professional. You are to respect the craft. You are to respect the audience is to respect you. And you need to give people what they're paying for. Because if they can look at you on TV, then they don't need to just look at you in person. So I thought about when SWV and Escape, and how Escape was saying, well, we have lights and we have this and we have that and we have choreographers and da 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 da. And I do think, for the sake of live performances in the hip hop rap genre, you're going to have some dancers in the background, like you see the performances on some of the award shows. If you can't dance to this, he gonna lean. You can lean with it, rock with it if you wanna. Any of that, have somebody else that can carry it. Just like when I was watching Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, when Spice had her surgery and she was going back out to perform, and she felt like that she wasn't at her 100% capability to do the things that she normally would do. She wanted to be able to still satisfy her audience by having background dancers and having all these different things. So I think that especially the independent rappers that's coming up, come up with something to make you stand out, to make people want to come to your shows. Because a lot of times, especially when you're independent, people support you out of love, seriously, because they are your fans. Give them some. I mean, I see some of the independent artists really be doing their things and have some background dancers, and I'm like, oh, they got background dancers. But it gives something more to the show, whether the dancers can dance or not. But I'm just going to say that, and I guess the gist of what I'm saying is that he caught my eye when he was talking about the quality of rap shows, and how a lot of people were making comments about the quality of rap shows. And I think that if you're going to be an independent rap artist, that is something that you can use to your advantage to stand out amongst the crowd. If the more major artists are not giving what they give, you give it. Take the place. Anyway, remember, you can catch us streaming live on social media platforms. You can find us on all podcasting platforms and on my website at www.blonde-intelligence.com. You can follow me on social media at RONEICE. That's on, I don't even know if it's called Twitter anymore. And on Instagram at the same one, or blonde.intelligence, or blonde_intelligence, or miss.blonde.intelligence_Ronnie1, because somebody had one of my Instagram pages deleted. That's okay, because I still have 4. Anyway, I'll see y'all next week. Bye.